Good morning to you. This is another Wednesday morning. Another week has gone by. Today I'm looking at September 18th. Right now it's about 10 after 6 in the morning. I've actually been up for about an hour and a half already. I, I I'm an early riser, but I'm also an early to bed kind of person. Okay, but I'm the kind of person that if I kind of wake up in the morning and I'm a little, if I'm there, I'm comfortable in bed, but I'm not sleeping, and my mind starts getting active. I've told myself just get up. You know, Sometimes for me, it's a godsend that I have a little extra time in the morning while the house is still quiet, it's not active. You don't get into the routine of your day or whatever your concern of the day happens to be. And I get to have my own kind of fun. Now, what do I call fun sometimes now in my older ages is I've been recording audiobooks. In fact, this is the reason why I even started this channel. So I got my little sound booth here, my little makeshift area, and I started recording a couple chapters this morning. I did the last four chapters of the Bible, of the book of Second Samuel. I had never read the Bible from cover to cover before, and I said, listen, if I'm going to do it, why don't I just record it and put it out here? Other people might like to just listen to it on their drive or while they're home or whatever. And looking at itself, it's like 1,000 pages long, which I've read 1,000 pages book a number of times, so that's not a thing to me. But to record it means I have to go through it at least 3 times. So it's going to take me years. If I do like one chapter a day, take me years to get done. So in the midst of doing these and doing other things that I do on this channel, I'm like, let me get some of these knocked out and make some more progress. Because even with this video series, making progress is the point. Now, granted, at times there might be a fallback, but as long as I keep my focus and keep going center, full speed ahead, I'm going to get to where I want to get to, whether it be on a recording project or on this project or even just life with family. Put into it, I will receive out of it. So, I do want to say that I'm going to almost dedicate this one, as you see in the picture of the thumbnail when you come here. I was wearing this hat there. This hat is the newly commissioned United States Navy submarine that just got put into effect on Saturday, and I was there. I was at the commissioning. Okay, so this is, here's some technical data for it, the SSN 796. This is the third naval vessel named the New Jersey. Two others were battleships that were decommissioned, 30 years ago plus. And this one set to sail. I'll throw a link down below if you want to read more about it. In fact, when this one came through, they specifically made the interior compartments and whatever you want to call it more accessible to both males and female seamen aboard the vessel. So, progress is being made in the military as well as everywhere else. But I was able to see it because how many times do you get to see a new naval vessel commissioned? Unless you follow this as one of your own hobbies. So I was there Saturday, beautiful day on the Jersey Shore, just north of Sandy Hook in a place called Earl, which is like a munitions depot, I believe. Just standing outside for hours and hours in the beautiful sunshine. So it was a great day. Plus it got me to do something, and I wasn't sitting around. I wasn't near a fridge or anything like that. In fact, they provided sandwiches there from Jersey Mike's, and I'm usually the kind of person that doesn't like oil and vinegar on his sandwiches and doesn't like tomatoes either. I don't like whole tomatoes. Love tomato sauce and as such, but not whole tomatoes. But it got to the point, they just made a ton of them and had them available. They weren't done to order. So I was hungry. I was like, all right, I grabbed one. I ate the whole thing just to have something in my stomach. I'm sure I could have said, something, not my cup of tea. Let me wait until later on and therefore kind of like fast for another 2 hours or so until I got home. Because I had to take a bus back to a hotel where my car was parked and then drive an hour home from there. So all in all, it was a good occasion. I was glad I was there. Go New Jersey. By the way, I am such a Jersey guy. I am a fan of New Jersey and everything about it. Um, I appreciate the jokes that happen out there. People like to mess on Jersey. But a lot of that comes from a reputation of people from New York City. Because once you get out of New York, which by the way has its own aromas, you get into the industrial section of New Jersey, which was built in support of that city. You have the oil refineries are there. You've got the Elizabeth Seaport. You've got the airport. You've got industry just outside of New York. So people want to talk about like being a cesspool or smells. Don't understand that New Jersey is the Garden State because our agriculture is amazing. In fact, where I live now in South Jersey, there are farms all around here. And my wife constantly, every week, goes to a local dairy or goes to a local farm and picks up vegetables. And that's what we have during the week as well. I love New Jersey. What can I say? But I digress. After this 6 minutes of introduction, let me get into why you might actually be here for me. So, let me, without further ado, just get right to the graphic and say, bam! This is where I'm at this week. 252.4, which is a full 3 pounds less than last week. Okay, and right now I'm sitting on a loss. Let's see, this will be my 15th injection, so 14 weeks, I've had a loss of 33.6 pounds. Okay, and I'm very happy to do it. I'm actually starting to get more compliments by people who are seeing me. Like, wow, I can really see it in your face. I can see it, in my carriage that, there's something that's been done. Now, for the most part, these people know I'm doing this. So it's not like an out of the blue, oh, wait a minute, I haven't seen you in a while, you look great kind of thing. It's just, people who are knowing I'm doing this and want to see me go further and are enjoying the spoils, let's say, so far. So, but interestingly enough, I swore I had sabotaged this in the last couple days. See, I've mentioned it before where I tend to do like on a Wednesday, I might relax a little bit, have a breakfast, like a real breakfast instead of a shake. Even though I still see my trainer like 3 days a week. And nowadays, like I said, I do like maybe 2 salads for dinners of the 7 days of the week between one recording and the next. But I thought like, what I usually do is like Wednesday is Wednesday and then try to stay on weekends, a little bit of a fight depending upon what is going on as well as far as like socially. And then Monday, Tuesday, because I might weigh myself in on Sunday just to see how I'm doing so far. And then Monday, Tuesday, I try to go balls to the wall and really like diet tremendously to get that last extra in right before I do this on a Wednesday morning. However, yesterday, I was just hungry that day. I had my shake in the morning. And again, it was another day that I started early at like 5 o'clock or something like that. I had the shake in the morning, and then by, that's about like maybe 5 or so, and then by like 9, I'm already starting to feel hungry. So I went for a banana, trying to make it cool, right? And, had the banana, and then shortly afterwards, here I am hungry again, So then I tried having like some pretzels or something like that, something that might fill me up, but not be too bad on what you put in your system. But then it was like, I think I snacked like 3 more times in the course of like 2.5, 3 hours. And my mind is shouting at me while I'm reaching for something. Even when I have the thing on, which I left upstairs, unfortunately, my little Celtic compass that I wear. It's just like, no, it's Tuesday. Don't do this today. Have some water, have some whatever else. But I kind of went with the whole like, I'm feeling hungry. I have to do something about this. So, but I was in my mind. I was like, well, tomorrow morning is going to be disappointing. So, it is what it is. But I actually had those cravings. But I tried to have small things and tried to be whatever else. And then to try to help things out, last night I worked a little bit later than usual. I went out for a walk around the neighborhood. Actually met a new neighbor who just bought a house around here too, so we chatted for a bit. But I walked around, came home, ate a late dinner, like 8:30 or something like that. But it was a salad, my usual salad, which was romaine lettuce, an avocado, sunflower seeds, croutons, maybe some cheese. My perfect salad. Back in the day, by the way, I used to have candied almonds on there, but I have a problem with raw almonds these days. I developed an allergy in my later years. But I was like, tomorrow's going to be tomorrow is, and, I'll just go on with it. And when I first woke up, this number here was actually 253.3. But I was like, it's real early in the morning, and I think if I do wake up or whatever, things will kind of work their way through. So I did my 4 recordings. I was like, well, let me see if I can, use the bowl. And I did, and boom, it was like another pound less. So I'm like, I'm sticking with it. So here I am with you. And it was a 3-pound week. I mean, I was expecting some disappointment this week. And I'm very, very happy I did not get any disappointment. So, so far it's been a great journey. And I'm happy that this is having the effect it's having. Now, it's been interesting, too, because there's a friend of mine that does ask the question, like, how far am I going to take this? What is my goal in mind? And in fact, yesterday I went for my plasma donation, and there's a woman there who had started just shortly before me that's doing it from a combination lab. And I asked her the same question. I was like, first of all, how's your progress? And she goes, oh yeah, it's been great. She's been like 35 so far, whatever. I was like, well, where's your do you have an end in sight? And she goes, that's a pretty interesting question. By the way, I'm gonna do my injection while I speak. My last injection in this pen, so I definitely have to make sure I get to my pharmacy in the next few days so I have a full pen for my upcoming vacation. But I digress. So I asked her what her goal was. And she's like, I think I want to go like an extra 10. And then I should be satisfied. So I was like, oh, that's pretty good. I was like, now after you do the 10, what do you think you're going to do? Like, are you going to just stop? Or are you just going to continue on? Like, what is your plan? Because I don't really have a plan just yet. And she said the same thing. She goes, I don't know. I've been hearing all these things that people say they go off of it and lose and gain it all right back again immediately. So I think one of the things that she's heard people do popularly is that they switch from every week to every other week. And then on top of that, they maybe cut down the dosage. So, there has to be an ending in mind. So I got to think of that myself. Like, I know my first goal is going to be go back to my wedding weight. So unfortunately, I'm one of those guys that after he got married, he gained 50 pounds. And I know that the pandemic didn't help because there was a lot of day drinking during the pandemic and you weren't going anywhere. So you were a lot less active at anything. So, but just apathy, that kind of like I attained my wife, I could let this go now kind of thing. Just, life crept up. Sorry while I itch. So, and there's no excuse for it. There really is none. And I'm not even trying to give one for it, but I'm just saying what could have happened. So my first goal is to get down to wedding weight. But I think I'm just going to take this train for as long as it's going to let me take a ride for it. And we'll see what happens. So she's not sure what her end result is, the technician. I'm not exactly positive of my own, but I want to get down as much as I possibly can. And by doing this, I'm keeping myself accountable and trying to do what's necessary for myself. So, but hey, for the moment, 33.5 pounds are down. So I just have to keep this going, Again, one thing I'm happy about is I am exercising, okay? I am watching what I eat. But the thing is, does this pen give me that lack of cravings that I'm not trying to go for more than I need in my system? And without this, will those lack of cravings go away and therefore now have cravings? That's going to be the big test toward the end of this journey. So I'll see how it goes. In the meantime, I got to get there. So I was able, pardon me. So I was able to, I have, like I said before, I've got another charm sitting here for my 40 pound weight loss. So I hope to get to that pretty soon. I actually even just ordered a 50 because I'm sure I'll hit the 50 eventually. So I want to have it, on hand. I'm at 33 now, 252.4. My hope is to get into the 240s next week. So I'm gonna still try as hard as I can, because I would like to be at, like, say, even 249.9 the Wednesday before I go away on vacation. So at least I can make that, pretty good. And at that point, I should probably be down 35 pounds from the beginning. So I can go to Germany, at least a smaller American than I was at one point. Interesting thing is, another thing regarding, like, just walking around, being active, and doing things in order to keep yourself, busy, and not to mention just to have a better life. This past Sunday, some extended family wanted to go apple picking at, again, one of those New Jersey places that are around here. So, and they have boys, and I have two boys. Let's get the boys together, and they can all play together as well. And apple picking is not really my thing. It's not the kind of thing I want to do. You know what I mean? So I was like, the wife begrudgingly made me go with her. I was like, fine, fuck it. So we went out there. And again, it was just walking around a field. I don't eat apples normally. I'm not against them. They're not horrible. I don't reach for one. You know what I mean? And, took the kids. We're outside going for a walk, talked to my brother-in-law. And there was actually a pretty cool thing that did occur while I was out there. So as we're walking, you're literally walking among the orchard trees. And they had sections for, like, different types of apples, about like 4 or 5 in total. There's the one of the golden oranges, and there's the Macintoshes, and I really don't know them off the top of my head. But so as we're walking along, I was able to pluck an apple from a tree. And I took some of my son's water bottle, and I took some water in my mouth, and I kind of, spit it back onto the apple so I can rub all the dirt off of it. And I was able to just eat an apple that I just plucked from a tree as I'm walking among an orchard. I'm like, how freaking Garden of Eden is this? I'm literally taking from the soil and imbibing it on the spot. And whatever type of apple it was, might have been the most enjoyable apple I've ever had in my life. It was a real nature and natural experience. So it was totally worth doing this trip that we drove 40 minutes to go to, you know what I mean? By the way, passing about 3 other orchards along the way. So it was, it was kind of magical in a way. So I was able to have that small little bit of an experience, and I was happy for that. So that's all I have for you today. It looks like we're about 19 minutes. Again, thank you for your comments. I'm glad to hear what your own journeys are going through as well. And in the meantime, just stay focused, stay positive. Even if you fall back a step, stay positive. I'm glad I've been able to have the drive to stick with this and do as much as I could week to week to week. And like I said, every week I get a little bit of that almost, anxiety in a way, being like, oh, is it going to be a good week? Did I do it this week? But I like the fact that I'm starting to steamroll better with having, like, more fruits, with walking on my own instead of only working with my trainer, with doing activities outside and that kind of thing. And that's been the difference. So I was able to do 3 pounds this week. If I can do 2.4 or 2.5 pounds for next week, I'm going to be happy guy. So I've got a great goal in mind 7 days from now. But in the meantime, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you back here in 1 week. Bye-bye now.